You felt it, haven't you? That recurring pattern, that familiar struggle, the same problem returning in a new disguise. It's not just a bad streak or bad luck, it's a loop. Your life feels like a broken record, playing the same discordant note. This isn't a coincidence, this isn't fate, it's the mechanics of your own attention replaying a pre-programmed reality. You are not stuck because reality is fixed. You are stuck because your perception hasn't shifted its focus. What you perceive as your life, your circumstances, your relationships, your very sense of self is not a static given. It is a constantly rendered output, generated by where you habitually place your attention. This continuous playback creates the illusion of an unchangeable world. Your repeated failures weren't proof you're weak. They were proof your old self was still rendering that specific outcome. The loop isn't reality itself. It's an attention loop, meticulously crafted by an observer that refuses to look away from its own reflection. But what happens when that observer starts to see differently? And before we dive deeper, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell. These revelations aren't random, and if this video found you, it was meant to. Now let's begin. Yesterday's identity is much more than a memory. It's a living blueprint for today's facts. This isn't just about habits. It's about a feedback loop that solidifies your perceived self into the very fabric of your world. Every belief you hold about yourself, every story you tell, every expectation you harbor functions as a powerful attractor. These aren't just thoughts, they are energetic commands. They instruct reality on what to bring forth. The observer you are right now, the one reading these words, is a culmination of every choice, every belief, every perceived limitation you've accepted. That identity, like a powerful magnet, pulls corresponding experiences into your present moment. It's an unbroken spiral. The version of you that struggled yesterday, that doubted, that resigned itself to a certain fate, that version is still actively sculpting your current reality. It's a constant, subconscious reaffirmation, twisting the present to fit the mold of the past. Your failures persist because the observer hasn't yet collapsed the identity that creates them. This leads us directly to the biological filter that reinforces these patterns. Your brain has a remarkable gatekeeper, a filtering system called the reticular activating system, or RAS. This isn't just a biological detail. It's a critical component in how your identity dictates your perceived reality. The RAS acts like a personal bouncer for your perception. It decides what gets through to your conscious awareness and what remains in the vast background noise. Its primary directive, to confirm what you already believe to be true. If your identity holds a story of scarcity, the RAS filters for scarcity. If it believes you're unlucky, it highlights every small misfortune. This isn't malicious. It's efficient. The RAS is constantly seeking evidence to validate your deeply held identity. It ensures that the world you see meticulously reflects the self you hold inside. It's the ultimate identity filter, ensuring the integrity of your personal narrative. What you consciously wish for often collides with what your subconscious identity filter is programmed to see. This biological mechanism ensures that your past self relentlessly replays in your present experience. It's why reality seems to confirm the very stories you desperately want to escape. You know the story. The one that whispers your limitations, reminds you of past failures, or tells you why you can't have what you truly desire. This isn't just a thought, it's a deeply embedded frequency that reality itself is echoing back to you. Every time you encounter a setback, every time a door closes, your first instinct is often to confirm that hateful internal narrative. See, I told you so, this always happens to me. This isn't just self-talk. It's a powerful feedback loop. Your reality isn't just happening to you, it's constantly listening. It's a vast neural network picking up on your most dominant frequencies. And if the dominant frequency is that narrative of limitation or unworthiness, reality obediently provides evidence. This isn't punitive, it's purely mechanical. The universe mirrors your deepest convictions, not your loudest wishes. So if you keep getting the same unwanted results, it's because a part of you, deep down, is still broadcasting the signal for that very story. This constant echo creates a deep sense of inertia, making change feel impossible. Identity inertia is the unseen force that keeps you locked in familiar patterns even when they're painful. It's the physics of self, a profound tendency to remain in your current state, whether of motion or stillness, until acted upon by an equal and opposite force. Your identity, once formed, possesses a surprising resistance to change. It's not just a collection of beliefs, it's an entire energetic construct anchoring you to particular emotional states and behavioral loops. Shifting this feels like trying to move a mountain. This inertia isn't a flaw, it's a feature. It maintains stability for your perceived reality, ensuring a consistent framework for existence. Your brain prefers predictability, even if that predictability is uncomfortable, because the unknown feels like a threat. So, when you try to change, that inertia pushes back. Old thoughts, old feelings, old excuses resurface, attempting to pull you back into the comfort of what's known. This resistance is a direct measure of how deeply your identity has been embedded into your everyday reality. And this inertia holds something even more fundamental in place, the very fabric of your perceived world. Imagine reality not as a solid block, but as an intricately woven tapestry of countless microperceptions. Each tiny focus, each fleeting thought, each subconscious filter acts like a single, microscopic thread. Together, they form the seemingly unshakable glass of your perceived timeline. Your macro-reality, the grand narrative of your life, is not externally imposed. It's an emergent property of these countless microperceptions. What you consistently observe, what you consistently filter for, what you consistently believe to be true, these fundamental units are precisely what constitute your entire world. When these microperceptions are aligned with an old, limiting identity, the entire timeline appears rigid and unyielding. It's like looking through distorted glass, seeing only a fraction of what's truly available. The cracks in this glass represent moments where alternative realities attempt to break through. This glass isn't fixed, it's malleable, but only when you shift the very smallest units of your perception. The inertia is so powerful because every tiny observation holds the whole structure in place. Only by understanding this can you begin to see the invisible mechanism that always holds up a mirror to you. You are living inside an invisible mirror, one that reflects not just your outer actions, but the deepest frequencies of your inner world. Everything you observe, everything you encounter, is not just an external event. It is a precise reflection, an echo of your own state of being. This isn't a metaphor, it's a mechanical principle of observation. The circumstances that appear to be happening to you are, in a profound sense, happening from you. The people who frustrate you, the opportunities that elude you, the limitations you face, all are acting as mirrors. They are showing you the unresolved aspects of your identity, the hidden beliefs you harbor, the frequencies you are unconsciously broadcasting. This mirror doesn't judge, it simply reflects with perfect accuracy. It cannot reflect what is not present within your own observational field. Often, we hate the reflection because it shows us something about ourselves we're unwilling to acknowledge. We want to blame the mirror, but the mirror is just showing the truth. To change the reflection, you must change what you are projecting. Understanding this opens the possibility of glitches. To derail an attention loop, you must intentionally glitch the frequency you're broadcasting. This isn't about trying harder or forcing a change. It's about subtly shifting the input that your reality is constantly processing. It's about interrupting the familiar pattern. Think of it as introducing deliberate static into the old signal. This can be done by consciously choosing a different response to a familiar trigger. Instead of reacting with frustration, choose curiosity. Instead of feeling defeated, choose a moment of deliberate gratitude. These small, intentional shifts are like tiny wrenches thrown into the gears of your old, self-reinforcing mechanisms. They create dissonance, however slight, in the feedback echo that sustains your identity inertia. The key is consistency, not intensity. A rapid, overwhelming force is often met with equal resistance. But a series of small, consistent glitches begins to unravel the old programming. This interruption creates the space for a different reality to emerge. This isn't a grand revolution, but a series of micro-experiments. You don't need to dismantle your entire life to shift your reality. Start with a micro-experiment. Identify one small, persistent loop, a recurring thought, a familiar reaction, a minor setback you always encounter. Choose just one. Then, for a defined period, consciously intervene. If your loop is always feeling rushed in the morning, deliberately slow down for 5 minutes. If your loop is immediately checking negative news, substitute it with something inspiring. This isn't about perfection, it's about introducing a deliberate break. Observe what happens when you glitch that single frequency. Pay attention not to monumental shifts, but to subtle changes in how your day unfolds, how others react, or how your internal landscape feels. You'll find the invisible mirror begins to show you new reflections. Breaking one loop sends ripples through the entire system. It proves to your subconscious that alternate outcomes are possible. It's not about making a massive change, but about demonstrating causation, that altering your internal state directly alters your external experience. Yet, even when you make these shifts, there's a strange persistence from the past. Even after you've glitched a frequency and begun to shift your internal state, you might experience something peculiar: reality lag. It's the ghost of the old timeline, still echoing in your present moment, even as a new one is trying to emerge. This isn't a sign of failure, it's a natural consequence of how reality renders itself. Think of it like a massive ship changing course. The captain might turn the wheel, but the enormous vessel doesn't immediately pivot. It continues in its old direction for a time, propelled by momentum, before the new course takes effect. Your reality operates similarly. The old timeline, powered by years of consistent observation and identity reinforcement, has significant momentum. It takes time for the new frequencies you're broadcasting to fully overwrite the old ones. Patience isn't just a virtue, it's a mechanical necessity during this phase. During reality lag, you might feel discouraged, as if your efforts are in vain. But these lingering echoes are merely the universe clearing its buffers, processing the old data as it prepares to fully render the new. The key is to not re-engage with the old frequency during this transitional period. This lag reveals the true power of your internal observer, even over what you assume is fixed. What if your observer doesn't just perceive reality, but actively edits memory, effectively reversing time to shape your present and future? This isn't science fiction, it's a profound implication of the observer effect. Your memory isn't a fixed, objective record. It's a malleable narrative, constantly being rewritten by your present internal state. The identity you embody now actively reinterprets your past. A past failure, once a source of shame, can become a crucible of strength when viewed from a shifted perspective. The observer doesn't just see. It frames, it interprets, and it fundamentally alters the meaning of what has already transpired. This isn't about denial. It's about recognizing that the facts of your past are not inert data points. They are energetic constructs whose impact is determined by the lens through which you currently view them. By shifting your present identity, you quite literally edit the truth of your personal history. This power of revision is one of your most potent tools for collapsing old timelines. It neutralizes the energetic charge of past setbacks, preventing them from continuing to broadcast limiting frequencies into your present. The observer doesn't merely witness, it retrospectively curates, shaping what was to serve what will be, and this power culminates in a single, undeniable truth. Ultimately, there is no external arbitrator, no objective judge, no fixed reality demanding your acquiescence. The observer decides what becomes real. This is the core truth of your existence, the ultimate mechanism of creation. Your perception is not merely a lens, it is the generator. Every outcome you experience, every circumstance that manifests, flows directly from the energetic blueprint your dominant observer is holding. It's a direct, unmediated translation of your inner world into your outer experience. There is no middleman, no delay, only the mirroring. When you struggle, it's because your observer is still fixated on a limiting potential. When you thrive, it's because your observer has aligned with the frequency of abundance. This is not wishful thinking, it is the fundamental physics of consciousness meeting quantum possibility. The power is not outside of you, it is the very essence of you. It's the silent, insistent command that shapes timelines, collapses potentials, and renders the world you inhabit. There are no accidents, only observers choosing what to make real. This brings us to a final, inescapable conclusion. If this video found you, it was not by chance. It was an inevitability, a pre-programmed synchronicity reflecting a deeper shift already underway within you. The collapse has already begun. The old timeline, the old identity, the old loops, they are already destabilizing. The fact that you are witnessing these truths, that these words resonate, is proof that your internal observer is ready to shed the constraints of its previous programming. Your willingness to question, to explore these hidden mechanisms, is the first critical crack in the timeline glass. You didn't stumble upon this information accidentally. Your subconscious, your higher self, or whatever you choose to call that deeper inner knowing, has guided you here. It has orchestrated this encounter because it knows you are ready for the next stage of your evolution. This isn't just content, it's a trigger, a signpost. The questions you now carry, the insights you've gained, these are the energetic catalysts initiating the final phase of identity collapse. The old realities are fading, and a new one awaits your conscious observation. Make sure to subscribe for more videos and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. We'll see you in the next one.